You are nobility, stowed away in the tower, scheming for control of a ruined kingdom. Thwart the other nobles and navigate your victory by burying them in cards, collecting the court, and surviving the fall of the tower. Take turns playing cards on matching suits to force opposing nobles to draw cards, bind horrible curses, or lose their best cards. You are incentivized to keep your hand count low to avoid losing, and seek out the influence of the powerful court. As a player, you'll be cornered into making difficult decisions, working with unlikely allies, and making enemies. Hello, this is a guide for how to play Tower Dark Age. This game is for 2 to 6 players with a minimum expected game time of 20 minutes, increasing by 10 to 15 per player. Here we have the rulebook with a few things to note. This tutorial is going to follow the index layout, so feel free to follow along with this. And then the last 2 pages will be referencing the card types, which is very useful for a new player. And the back cover is a total card list, and then it has all of the card type icons with every card, so you know what it is. Next up here we have the threshold tracker. It is double-sided, so whichever one is your aesthetic preference, there's no difference in gameplay. This is used to track how close you are to being eliminated. And then from here we have the threshold token. This is going to be used for marking your placement along the tracker, and this moves down as the game progresses. And last but not least, we have the tower, or the deck. Start by placing the token above the 20 space on the tracker. Next, shuffle the tower very well. You won't have to do this again while playing. Then deal 7 cards to all players. You're going to reveal cards from the tower until you get a sun, moon, or star card. This is going to be your starting discard pile and what you'll play off of. Decide at random who goes first. You lose if you end your turn with more cards in hand than the threshold. You win the game if every other player has been eliminated. You win the game by ending any turn with no cards in your hand. And finally, you win the game by ending any turn below or equal to the threshold with 5 unique court cards under your influence. These cards can be bound to you or in your hand in any combination. Start your turn by drawing a card from the tower. You may only play 1 card on your turn unless a card says otherwise. Now, if you choose not to play a card, or you cannot play a card for any reason, you will draw another card from the tower. This is going to conclude your turn. Playing a bound card is still going to count as your 1 card per turn. You can also invoke court cards, new or existing, at any point during your turn once each. The hand threshold dictates how many cards you're allowed to have at the end of your turn. As long as you don't exceed this number, you are considered under the threshold. As a part of playing a Blight card, you must reduce the threshold by 1 by moving the token. When you lose in a game with 3 or more players, your hand and bound cards are shuffled and placed under the tower. Instead of taking your turn normally, you will reduce the threshold by 1. This will continue until the game ends. The top card of the discard pile determines what suit of card you can play on your turn. You can play any card that matches its suit with the top card. You can play any suit of card if its name matches the top card of the discard pile. Blight cards are considered wild and can be played on any suit. Just remember, part of playing a Blight card is reducing the hand threshold. Any card can be played onto a Blight card that's on top of the discard pile. If a card or effect instructs you to do something first, do that immediately after the card is played and before any other effects happen. Afterwards, complete the rest of the card's effects. If multiple cards or effects of cards instruct you to do something first, you get to choose which order they happen in. Your hand consists of 2 groups, revealed and hidden. Cards in both groups make up your total hand. Your hidden cards should remain undisclosed from other players, while your revealed hand should be easily visible to everyone. Cards bound to you are not a part of your hand. You may play from and discard from your hidden or revealed hand just as if they were a normal hand of cards. When a revealed card is added to your hand from anywhere, it remains revealed. If cards from your hand become revealed, they stay revealed as part of your revealed hand. The top card of the discard pile determines what cards can be played on your turn. Cards get played and discarded onto the top of the discard pile. If you discard multiple cards at the same time, you may choose which of those cards will be the new top of the discard pile. If multiple players discard cards simultaneously, the player taking their turn discards first, then this continues to the next player in turn order. The order of the discard pile, except for the top card, does not matter. Players can look through the discard pile at all times. Bound cards bind to a player after they're played instead of being put on top of the discard pile, and they remain in front of the player they bound to. A bound card remains bound unless a card rebinds it or another player removes it. Cards bound to you do not count as being in your hand. If a duplicate bound card would bind to you, the new card is immediately sent to the discard pile. Playing a court card binds it only to you. Court cards have beneficial once-per-turn abilities called Invoke. Once a court is bound, it may be invoked at any point during your turn. Invoke can only be used on your turn. You may invoke any number of court bound to you during your turn. As part of playing a curse card, you must choose a player to bind it to. You may bind it to any player, including yourself. Curses have severely punishing static effects that will trigger when you perform a certain action or at a certain time. When the tower curses you, you reveal cards from the tower until a curse card is revealed, then bind it to yourself. This does not reduce the threshold. The remaining cards are then shuffled and put under the tower. As part of playing a target card, you must choose a player to be affected by the card. Similar to curses. That player is then targeted. Whenever you become chosen by a target or curse card, you have the ability to retaliate. Retaliate cards cannot be played normally or reduce the threshold. When prompted to retaliate, you may discard one retaliate card to perform its effect. When you play a mob card, you may reveal any number of cards with the same name as the card you played, then put all of those revealed cards under the tower. Those cards are mobbed. The mobbed cards increase the effect of the originally played mob card. So as part of playing a mass, you must target a player, and then you can mob any number of other amass cards in your hand. Because 2 other amass were mobbed in this example, the target will draw a total of 6 cards instead of the default 2. Whenever you discard a grave card, you must perform that card's written effect. this does not count as playing a card. However, grave cards can still be played like normal cards and will perform their written effect when played.